Did you just go live?
Yes, we live. I told you I
Yeah. So
was
anyway, his
live.
mama was like, "Nah."
Hey yo.
Anyhow, we back with another one, Cheese Kingdom.
Mama said.
Welcome back. This your host, formerly known as Bad Little Chuck, with another episode of Kingdom Cast, the 53-man roster special. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on your social media platforms. If you watch it on Twitter, please hit the retweet and like button and share to everybody that you know.
Oh
Got
man,
to tell the truth in the building too, man, because we're gonna get everybody's opinions on this, man.
gang members.
Hey, hold on, time out, time out.
You're
I just realized Chuck ain't no way, Chuck, man. Chuck got the T-shirt with the jersey on top of it and the hat, man. Ain't no way, dog. Ain't no way you got the full fit on.
You got a Kobe
this
jersey and
2005
wait
right
a minute,
here.
hold on.
Talk that
Yeah.
talk, Chuck. It's that
Y'all,
boy
y'all,
Perk
y'all
Day.
know what day it is? Y'all know
824
what day it
day.
is?
Hey,
824
bro.
day, man. Bean day.
It's
D-Mac.
Stop
Mama's
playing,
Mama
Chuck.
Day. It's
Chuck is the
8/24.
guy
It's
that
Bean
shows up to
day, man.
24-hour fitness
It's
with knee
Yeah,
Bean
pads, an
Chuck.
elbow pad, a sleeve,
It's
and a
Bean
warm-up
Day.
jacket.
Recognize.
If I
Come
ever
on,
see
man.
Chuck with a sleeve, I will cry. If I
This
ever
is
see
a jersey
Chuck.
for championship number 5, by the way.
That's a
Yeah,
fact.
You,
check
Talk
them
you
out,
that
brother.
talk, Chuck.
Chuck,
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
Day.
you or do you not have a sleeve at your house?
Chuck, do you own a sleeve?
a sleeve.
Oh God.
Yeah. You don't try to act like you don't know what a sleeve is. Do you or do you not own a sleeve?
I don't own a sleeve.
Chuck, if I ever saw you wear a
I don't
sleeve, I
believe.
swear to God, I
DG, bring your ass in here.
don't you ever wear
Yeah, DG, where the heck you at, dude? Why you in the chat? Get in
Man,
here.
just got did you pull up, bro?
But
DG
anyhow,
called us out
You ever
for
talking about
tweeting
gang? You
during
talking about
church.
pull up, bro?
I ain't had
anyhow,
nothing to say. He had me dead to rights. He was like, "Bro, why are you tweeting during church?" I was like, "Yeah, you got me."
all
Ah!
y'all, all y'all was tweeting. I'm like, ain't y'all supposed to be focusing on the camera? What y'all talking for?
Chuck, look
Tweeting during
at
church
Chuck.
is crazy.
Nah,
That
man,
is
bring your
Chuck.
ass in here.
I'm
That
done.
is Chuck.
I'm done. I'm done, dog.
Not with
I'm,
the hat. That is
I'm
Chuck.
done,
In
dog.
West Philadelphia,
I'm,
Yo,
born and
whole
I'm
army
raised.
done,
is on the
man.
playground.
D-Mac, I'm done, bro. I'm done with
Bro,
you.
he stole your flow word for word,
Oh,
bar
that's
for
Bruh,
bar.
insane.
That's Chuck.
bar
That
for
is insane.
bar.
That's Chuck.
That's not Chuck, man.
The fact that D-Mac
I'm
can remember
done,
that shit,
man.
bro, you look like Fresh Prince.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I do
You
done.
look
prefer
like
Bro,
the
because he got
Fresh
the
Chuck.
Prince
purple
of
going on
Bel-Air,
too,
bro.
just like he.
I'm done, man. Anyhow, y'all see the crew, man.
Chuck
Coming
looking
through the
real
box, right?
2005 right now.
Yeah,
Y'all see
dog.
D-Mac and
Hey, dog.
CJ. Tell the truth.
Nah, bro. You gotta take that jersey, put it in a frame, and put it on your wall. You can't wear it no more. D-Mac ruined that jersey for you. He just killed it.
Man, forget what D-Mac talking
Nah, he
about,
killed. He
man.
killed it. That
Forget
jersey's
what he
dead, bro.
talking
I
about.
don't ever want to see
Oh,
you in that jersey.
Ryan, that's funny.
That shit is dead, bro. It's dead
Hey,
now,
yo,
man.
Will.
He gave
I
you
can't
first
stand him for
season
that,
Bel Air,
dog.
bro. First season, bro.
I cannot stand him for that, dog.
The fact that he remembered that was so hilarious, bro.
It's the first thing
Man,
that came to mind, man.
that's like the first episode too. Like that's when he was playing the
When
drums
he
and
just got
acting.
off the plane, he fresh up in LA for
Oh
sure.
my god!
That's why I remember this so well. I'm sorry.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Oh
I
my
think that's
god,
the first
bro.
thing I thought of, man. What's up, Chuck? How's it going?
The purple and gold just it hit so much better that way. It's the exact same colors.
God,
Y'all know.
and you know he had on some fives with that too.
You know he
You already
did.
know he had on
Chuck, you
some
got on
fives.
fives right now. I bet he do.
Nah, I don't got fives on. I'm
Oh,
nasty,
we
man.
almost had him, D-Mac. We almost had him.
But anyhow, before we get to the 53-man roster, first we gotta talk about the Chiefs Bears preseason game and all the great things that happened in that game. Mainly with the first string and second string. We ain't gotta worry about that fourth quarter because you know what it is. Country, what you got to say?
I, I was I am always been of the belief I don't care what happens in the preseason game. I was beyond pissed when they lost that game. I was like, "Hey man, come on, man. Bruh." I was just like, "Come, last second touchdown." Bro. I was beyond. I turned the TV off and immediately went upstairs. But I did watch the entire game. But I've never felt so mad about a preseason game than that, especially with all the things that went right in that game. To lose that game like that was just unbelievable, and I hated it every second of it. But to start it off, O-line did great. Starters look great. Starters look amazing. They ready for week one. Pat played a little bit longer than I thought he should have, but I mean, he was so on point with what he was doing that, he wasn't getting touched, which is another thing. It's not like he was Shador Sanders getting touched all night, but he didn't get touched, so he was doing his thing, bro. And they look well oiled. They look like they're ready for Brazil. So if I'm the Chargers, I would be a little bit scared of what they're gonna do week 1. Hey man, you gotta take that jersey off, man. I can't.
That's what I was like.
Gone, man.
It was
When I say no.
it was a combination of
Saying he got touched all night is
Thank
crazy.
you, CJ.
I did say touch.
When
My
you
bad.
said
Pause.
that.
That's a
Because
pause. My bad.
No,
Saying he
Diddy,
got
bro.
saying he got touched all night for a Browns quarterback at that.
That's what I'm
then
saying, bro.
Following it up with saying that they look well oiled and ready for
Hey,
Brazil.
yo!
Not true. Both of them back.
I hit all the pause trifecta.
Oh my god.
I euroed the first one. I couldn't. The second one got me.
No, bro. When he said he got touched, I was like, country.
Hey,
pause
hold on.
This
We
is
usually
definitely
don't do sales on Sunday. We usually don't do sales on Sunday.
Bro.
I'm a little out of practice.
Saying
But
oiled up to
well-oiled machine was
wild.
over there.
Oh my god.
Nah, well-oiled machine was a little bit over.
Y'all nasty.
I don't care, DG. Bring yourself in here. Pause.
He said, bring your ass.
I was gonna say that, but then I had already tripled down on another pause. So
Bring your ass.
I couldn't
Don't
say
call
ass
dribble
anymore.
down. Don't call dribble down. Please.
Okay.
We don't need none of that. Relax.
Anyway, CJ, how did they look at the preseason game, bro?
Overall, guys look good. I was most excited about just seeing the overall group of the O-line work well together and gelling together. Like nobody was miscommunicating on blitz pickup. Everybody was passing off things, especially Creed. He looked like he's in mid-season form. He had an amazing run blocking concept where he passed off 3 guys and worked up to the back row. So I love to see him acting like the Pro Bowler and All-Pro he is. Josh and Kingsley look good. No blown assignments from what we could tell. It was good to see the deep ball come back from Pat. Obviously, we want to see more explosive plays this year from Taekwon, Hollywood, Zay, everyone. So it was good to see that. Not on the Lord's Day. It was good to see another 20-yard play for the overall offense. Trav looked like he's in midseason form as well. I definitely didn't think Pat was going to play that long. Like Country said, I thought the first drive touchdown would have been it, but Andy let him stay in there a little longer, given the fact they didn't play last week in Seattle. So it was good to see the guys, Kareem and Pop were both getting a lot of touches in the offense, and I think that's kind of how they're going to work a lot this year, kind of like a running back by committee group. So I love to see both of those guys get in there. Kareem definitely don't like to drop. You got to make those plays, especially when it's 6 on the line, especially when Trey Smith is out here killing bodies and trying to give Pat extra time to make a play. So Trey looks like he in mid-season form as well. So guys, everybody looks locked and loaded. Everybody's ready to go. Just only thing we're waiting on now to see this Rasheed news. That's the only thing for sure.
Trey was mad about that Cracker Barrel logo. That's what he.
Cracker Barrel's a staple for sure.
Oh my goodness, dog.
2025 deciding to rebrand is kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb, the things that I
like. Why now? Out of all the years, like not COVID, not none of that. Okay.
But also, who cares what logo?
The logo. Who cares?
I was just like, whatever, man. You know,
man, get you the hash brown casserole and let me get out of here, man. That's all I want.
Pancakes still hit. That's all that matters.
Some pecan pancakes. I don't care how the logo look.
Right.
Go ahead, D-Man.
No, you good. I agree. Who cares? Anyway, I obviously like the main takeaway is going to be on the offense. I thought the defense was largely fine. Obviously, the first series kind of got put behind the 8 ball because they had the bad snap ultimately, but they handled business from that aspect, and they were able to kind of drive down after there. But you saw some interesting things as the time went on. You know, early on, Charles Omenihu showed some better pass rush than we had seen, which was nice to see. Ashton Gelati made some plays later on, 2 really good run stuffs as well. So again, the big piece of what we can see from the secondary pass rush has been the most concerning thing for me this preseason. So it was nice to see at least it picked up in the third preseason game. But headline is going to be the offense. Starting up front, obviously it wasn't a perfect game by all 5, offensive linemen from that aspect, but I thought you saw a really good game from Kingsley. Excellent game once again from Josh Simmons. Everybody looks ready to go. Obviously, Creed and Trey look like themselves. Jawan Taylor looked very healthy. No issues with that knee or limitations. Did a good job in his pass protection sets too. So I think that the offensive line is ready to go as is, and this was a really good dress rehearsal. And obviously, the time given to Patrick Mahomes obviously led to a few really good passes. Obviously, everybody's going to be extremely excited about the Tyquan Thornton bomb, and also using Brashard Smith out of the backfield, which was a lot of fun to see in my personal opinion. And honestly, it didn't necessarily need a whole lot of Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice reliance from that aspect. Obviously, we saw the chunk play to Travis Kelce as well. But that just tells you that this offense, when you give Patrick Mahomes time, has multiple different options to go to with beyond spamming, Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice. And so, yeah, I'm excited. Good dress rehearsal. Looks like they're ready for Brazil. So get some rest. Fortunately, came out of the game with no injuries, which is always the great thing to see.
Yep. So for me, man, when I saw Brashard and Robert Tonyan out there on that first drive, it's like, okay, they definitely on the roster. That's the first thing I observed with that. I want to ask everybody in the room about Kingsley Suamataia. Did he answer the bell enough for y'all with this performance?
You gotta
It
ask.
wasn't perfect, but did he do enough to say that was his best game?
He needed to continue to get snaps, in my personal opinion. Like,
That's
obviously, after the second preseason game, people were ready to fire him into the sun, which I thought was overreactionary to say the least. But he played well. He had one bad loss as far as kind of down the goal line on the goal line fade, which ultimately didn't matter because they got the ball out to Rashee Rice. I thought that outside of that, he showed really good chops in the run game. Mitchell Schwartz did a great breakdown kind of talking about some of the mental processing in the run game that he showed really effectively down on the goal line as well. Pass protection, I thought, was good throughout the entirety of the game. Maybe shaky on one or two snaps outside of that, but there was no quick losses as well. So I was happy with Kingsley Suamataia, but I was also somebody that didn't think that Kingsley was in danger of not starting week one from my personal perspective.
Is this like the third game he's played at guard? Like he's played less than 100 snaps at guard? Like
essentially, fourth game if you want.
Yeah,
technically fourth game, but like you're talking
fourth
about,
game, yeah.
You're talking about.
I don't know why people were so in an uproar. It's like relax. Like okay, he
really
just
only
needs
had
reps.
one full game of work if we're counting the difference.
Yeah, like it's not like he's not a 10-year vet, and then you're like, oh, he still ain't fixed his feet. Like he's still new to the position. Like, let it happen. Like, let it develop. Like, that's why people say that Chiefs fans are spoiled because we don't let nothing develop.
Extremely.
You got to come in day one being Trent Williams.
Facts.
Like Josh Simmons. You know what I'm saying? One day, Josh Simmons is going to have a bad game, guys. Get prepared for it. It's going to be like, oh, God, he don't look. But it's not going to be the end of the world. He's just going to have a bad game. It happens. But Kingsley is new to this position. Has he ever played guard? Never?
Not full time.
No.
Not that I know.
So he got like 33 snaps, like 11 snaps a game. He probably had 13, 15 snaps this game. I mean, it just looks better. The more you see him do it, the more it looks better. You know what I'm saying? Just relax sometimes. We so quick to get to the end of the story, man.
And
it's like we don't enjoy the journey, bro.
The biggest thing with Kingsley
I challenge. This is a PSA. This is a public certain. These are my thoughts alone, not a reflective of Kingdom Cast, Tell the Truth, 2 words for you, Rest Our Pocket. All those things that we do on this network, this beautiful, glorious network. Shameless plug. Don't be so quick to fast forward to the end of the story. Enjoy the journey. I dare you, Chiefs fans, to enjoy the journey of this year, of this season in particular, game by game. Just let's try that out for a while. Like, I'm just going to live in game one. I'm going to live there. I'm going to throw that away. Then I'm going to live in game two. Like, stop just worrying about the end so much. And you missed the whole journey. You know what I'm saying? It's like being in a car and you riding a scenic highway and you're missing all the stuff because you're just looking forward and driving. Like, look around, enjoy it. Wow, look at all this air and free space and all that type of shit. But anyway, go ahead, CJ.
No, perfectly said. That's the biggest thing with any player. You just need time to develop. And I think with Kingsley, you kind of said it. He's never been a full-time starter at guard. So the expectation of what he could or couldn't do needs to be developed with time. And he's only going to get better with reps. And it also comes together with game planning. So when you're going to get certain defenses, you know their weaknesses, what they do, what they don't like to do, their tendencies, things that Andy Reid and more so Andy Heck can work around to put Kingsley in a position to succeed. But you won't see those things until, like Country said, on a week-by-week basis. You're not going to get those answers in training camp. You're not going to get those answers in a preseason game. You have to go out there and let the work actually be put in. So now that we're actually getting ready for week 1 now, you'll see Kingsley be put in a lot of positions to where he won't be exposed as much. Now, my biggest worry or question mark, if I had to say about the O-line, is be how do we answer the bell when we play teams like the Eagles with Jalen Carter or the Giants with Dexter Lawrence, because they're going to put those guys over Kingsley because he's the weak point of the offensive line. That will be the test, and then we'll get a lot of answers by then. But for week 1, I think he'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, and that's where the fact that you're able to rely upon these other tackles is going to be a major question mark, because if you can rely on Josh Simmons on an island, which throughout the entirety of the preseason we've been able to, if you can rely on Jawaan Taylor on an island, which again, sometimes it doesn't go well, but a lot of times it does go fine. And we saw that last year versus Max Crosby. If you can do those things, then you can have Creed give that consistent help to Kingsley on the inside versus the really key matchups. And even there were some aspects of it. I believe it was on the deep shot. Actually, I should just pull it up. I believe it was on the deep shot to Thornton. They actually sent the chip help also to Jawaan Taylor's side, which again, you could do that in addition to being able to obviously being able to help with Creed Humphrey on Kingsley Suamatia. But those are just the things that you have to continue to implement to make sure that you're in a good spot as far as offensive line is concerned. But yeah, you're going to face guys like Jalen Carter, like Dexter Lawrence, that really put a lot of stress on the interior of this offensive line. If you're able to handle those aspects of it, then you're going to be fine. But that's where you're going to put a lot of stress on Josh Simmons and Jawaan Taylor being tackles on the edge, which makes a whole lot of sense given the fact of how well Josh Simmons is going to play. And I wanted to pull it up because I just had it. On the Thornton deep shot, they are going to have Kareem Hunt off the play fake come and just kind of he didn't necessarily really chip, but he was there if he needed a chip on Jawaan Taylor's side there. So it allows for a lot of pressure to be put on Josh Simmons to be a guy that can come out as a rookie and be on an island. But what we've seen from Josh Simmons, man, it makes you feel comfortable in doing so if you need to.
And obviously, when you go 6-7 man protection, obviously with Trav as a late leak out, it gives Pat time not only for the guys to develop and the play to get open, but like D-Max said, it gives Kingsley and Josh knowing that, hey, if we're going 6-7 man, nobody should have any leakage because everyone has help on either side of them. Travis chipped the end, Kareem's there to help Jawaan if need be, and we have basically like a 2-man route with essentially Tyquan going deep and obviously Zay going deep over, and Rasheed is kind of like a late outlet, but it's kind of like a 2-man decision. When you get 15 this kind of time, it's kind of an easy decision for him. When you got 2 of the fastest receivers in the league with Tyquan and Zay running, so.
It felt like everybody was open on that play too.
I was gonna say, even with the chips, obviously with Kelsey releasing late and Hunt off the play fake, Rasheed Rice is open on the crosser, Xavier Worthy's wide open on the deep crosser, and then Thornton, of course, beats his outside cornerback man as well. And we've got another example. Let me see if I can get to it quickly because they went to the 7-man protection as well. Yeah, I think this was it. As the 13 personnel. And again, like you said, being able to block everything up to give the opportunity off this play fake. Again, we're just, hey, we're going to wad everything up. We shouldn't have any issues. Mahomes should have plenty of space to operate. And he's able to hit Kelsey as far as that's concerned. So, yeah, those max protects looks, we were having times in which we were still giving up pressures as far as those 6-7-man protections are concerned. And fortunately, we're in a position which we don't have to necessarily worry about that. But we do get the benefit of 13 personnel where you see, hey, Robert Tonyan, Jared Wiley, Noah Gray, Travis Kelsey, the tight ends that'll be out there are also going to be receiving threats in addition to what they can do in the blocking aspect of it.
Hey, very valid point, DG. That Bears defense is, they're bad. They are bad. That whole team is bad.
Yeah, I'll say this. Those little clips that D-Mac just showed y'all.
Jalen Johnson wasn't playing for the record. Sorry, keep going.
Right, but those clips that D-Mac showed y'all, I think it's kind of hinting how, at least the offense side about this, kind of hinting how the Chiefs are gonna, finalize the roster. You know what I'm saying? But of course we'll get into that later in the show. Another thing I saw is that Isaiah Pacheco, he got his explosiveness back. As you guys clearly saw last season, Kareem popped off the couch and he was performing at a high level, and Pacheco was afraid to lose his job, so he kind of rushed back. And you guys saw that he wasn't really the same. And then D-Mac showed like a comparison. It was like 2 clips from this game and from a previous game. Yep, that clip right there.
Yeah, so this is 2023 on the top versus the Eagles, and then this is preseason this year.
Yep, and he showed the difference. And he showed the difference in how Isaiah Pacheco, runs to the outside, and how he's able to explode and get to the edge. But what I didn't like at the end there is that he ran to the trash can. He ran to the wall. Like, man, you gotta work on your emergency brake, dog.
Yeah, he tried to throw the brakes on, didn't end up working out. But when I was watching this back, and again, I'll give credit. Maddie Lane kind of pointed it out on the KCSN postgame show. I was like, okay, yeah, he's gliding a little bit more than he is stomping into the ground as far as watching him back in 2023. And overall, again, I think that what you saw to end last year was not the Isaiah Pacheco that you'll expect to see really probably, for years to come in this case, because he was obviously still hurt. He obviously rushed back from the injury, and he just wasn't in a good place as far as that was concerned. So the fact that he looks healthy in general is great, but the fact that now you add on to it, it seems like his running mechanics have improved and he's gliding a little bit more than he is stopping into the ground will help him be able to be a more efficient runner overall. But yeah, this is the comparison clip that I put together.
Yep.
We got CJ back.
Yeah, Pop got the pop back for sure. So that just leads me to not being as concerned. Like, I know there could be like health issues, possible injury concerns with Pop during the season. I mean, that could be a thing, but to me, honestly, I think Pop's ready to roll. And Kareem, I think we can run with that 1-2 punch for one more year, and then we'll look to like revamp the running back room even more next offseason.
Yeah, remember that big uproar about the running back room?
No, I was just about to say that. Last year is funny. It's ironic because before we even got to the preseason game last year, we knew Jet had retired. He wasn't going to play for us last year. I was telling DMAC and DG we need to sign Kareem Hunt or multiple other running backs to come join the room. And ironically, we did it after Pacheco got hurt. And now that you see them both on the roster this year, it can help both of those guys stay healthy, more so Pacheco because we know he dealt with injury last year. So just having both of those guys back will keep them both fresh, honestly, like Chuck just said. So I just think it's funny how we have Kareem now when we should have had him literally this time last year.
It was like the Chiefs heard the chatter on the timeline about the running backs and then immediately threw Brashard Smith in there and like, hey, this is why we got the guy.
Exactly.
Now, he should have caught that first one. He kind of made that. I think he kind of made that tougher than it should have been.
He double caught it.
Right. I don't know what he was thinking.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Go ahead.
No, I was saying just thinking too much.
I think that and yeah, Pop running into the wall was less than ideal. you
beat him up, Wall.
I thought he had
the Brashard Smith, I think again, this is exactly how I kind of expected Brashard Smith to be used. Is that he is going to be be brought in. My bad. On a select few package plays that he could be used for his receiving chops out of the backfield, and that's perfectly fine with me. And obviously they're going to send Rashee Rice in motion here. But the thing that I love most about this play design is it puts so much stress on the defense because you got Xavier Worthy running deep, and he's going to take that safety deep out of the picture. Travis Kelce's going to go to the sideline, which is going to take that safety to that side, also over to the sideline and open up this window. Then Juju kind of holding the backside guy, and the Rashee Rice jet sweep play fake ultimately pulls the linebackers in, and that makes it easy for Brashard Smith really to run past Hippolyte. Did we ever figure out how to say his name, Ruben Hippolyte the second? I think it's Hippolyte. I could be wrong. 44 for the Bears. And he beat him pretty easily. Like, it wasn't even close as far as that's concerned. And I think this applies to the wheel route. There are a lot of routes in which Brashard Smith, because he's a converted wide receiver, he's just going to smoke linebackers on because they don't have any chance of staying with him. And he ran right past them. The thing is, he just slowed down just a tad bit after he cleared 44, and that's why it was a difficult catch for him, and he couldn't haul it in. So unfortunate, but hey, it's a sign of things to come. And obviously, we saw it with the little option route out of the backfield later on as well, that they're going to continue to use Brashard Smith's receiving chops as they should.
I mean, you're at two deep at every position, honestly, now. You have two running backs you can lean on to run in between the tackles, right, with Kareem and Pop. You have two tight ends you can lean on to run tight end one reps, being Trav and Noah. You have two speedy receivers that back the safeties off and back off the coverage with Taekwon and Zay. You have two quote-unquote possession or physical receivers you could depend on to make tough catches with Juju and Rashee. You can go two deep at every position now. Outside of Brashard, you have multiple guys that you can lean on to make plays. So now you're not overusing guys during the season.
Yeah, I like
and we got the refs.
That too.
Oh God.
Can't forget about that. You can never forget about that.
No, but you know it ain't a season until Pat tell a wide receiver or a running back to keep running. I got you. Just keep going. Don't
I
stop.
like
Don't
I
slow
like how
down. Keep
Richard
going.
Facts.
I like how Richard redeemed himself after the drop. You
Go
know,
right
if
back
it's
to
placed
him.
before that.
Go right back to him.
You
Yeah,
know that's the Andy Reid. You know that's the
Yeah.
Andy Reid
You
special.
got to keep you locked in. As soon as you mess
Yep,
up, get back to him.
absolutely.
already.
And then
It's the
D-Max on that little Texas route the backfield.
Yeah,
And we haven't had this in so long, but we need a guy like this.
good.
Just easy gimme plays, like first downs. Like you don't got to think about it. Just let him run around, let him get open.
It's been far too long. And again, Rashard Smith and his wide receiver chops, he's going to be able to beat linebackers. 80% of linebackers on these routes, man, they're just not going to be able to stay with them. And so these things are going to be available to him in a way that, again, like we've talked about, since young Kareem Hunt and again, Jet McKinnon is a good receiving back, but I wouldn't even say to this level that he has the ability to run like real routes like Rashard Smith. So since young Kareem Hunt that we haven't been able to have in an Andy Reid offense, which is nice to see, to say the least. And look, when you have multiple different options like CJ was just laying out, it makes it so you don't have to tax any one player from that aspect. And I still have my concerns about the running back room simply for if, Isaiah Pacheco gets hurt, then it gets a little bit spooky, relying so heavily on Kareem Hunt as well. But at this very moment in time when those guys are out healthy, certainly the depth chart for this offense looks good.
Yeah, that route was clean and safe.
I love it.
and that's a back breaking play that we got him in third and long. If we hold here, we got him, and then Rashad sneaks out and gets 9. It's like, damn.
Easy way. And he could have scored on that too. You break that
Yeah,
tackle.
it's like, we had him, and like that's gonna hurt some people.
Hey, country, if you
We're
want
gonna
to
break some spirits and shit.
show the
You said-
motion by Zay. I just want to show one more thing on that play.
Yeah, go ahead.
The traction that obviously Xavier Worthy was our biggest weapon last year, and he had finished the year with 8 touchdowns. Anytime he comes in motion, and he's the fastest guy on our team. Anytime he moves, the defense is gonna have to dictate him and watch him. So you can tell when he went in motion on that play, you immediately know it's man coverage, which is the point of a motion indicator to figure out what the defense is in. And when he did that drag route, the DB flew to him, and the other DBs started looking their eyes towards him, which gives Brisker and Brashard even more room to work on that one-on-one Texas route. So just having a guy like Worthy and Brashard, you can do plays like this using their speed and versatility. It's going to put so many mismatches in place for defenses because, like D-Mac said, you don't have enough guys to cover this much speed in the backfield. It's just impossible. Even like the best linebackers in the world, like Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, can't cover these guys, even with great safety help. So when you see Zay come here and the safety moves him out, you immediately know it's man. And then when he comes across, it immediately creates like 5 to 10 yards cushion for Brashard to work with Brisker, and it's easy like a 2-man go at that point.
And it's an easy indicator. It's not even, you don't even necessarily need the motion for Xavier Worthy. The second you see 29 Stevenson lined up in a linebacker position, Mahomes knows, okay, well, that's the man that's going to try and stay with Xavier Worthy here on the situation.
Exactly.
Obviously, he ends up going with them. And like you said, just opens up the middle of the field for these guys to operate.
But look at all that space he has. Before he even gets across the line of scrimmage, Brisker's like 5 yards off the ball. So it's too easy for Brashard at that point.
Yeah. So if you have slow linebackers on your team, we're gonna have a field day against you. Just know that.
Facts.
Yeah, the funny thing, you mentioned slow linebackers. Noah Gray burnt the linebacker off this line.
I was about to say Noah Gray
corner route too.
We ain't even mention Noah Gray.
And
We ain't even mention Noah Gray.
Facts.
Travis got some wiggle back. Like that's scary, bro. Show to Travis. What was that one play Travis had some wiggle to him again? And it's like
the play action.
Man, we sure didn't see that last year.
Yeah.
Definitely not early.
Guys look healthy, man. Look in shape too.
Yeah, Travis got that clean little spin back, after he catches the ball, did a little half spin and go. I was like, he was just a bit out of shape and a bit fat last year. That's all it was.
That was nowhere last year. It wasn't working at all last year.
Yeah. But there's another thing I want to touch on. And this is a serious question because we have seen Patrick Mahomes throw this type of route in the end zone on multiple occasions now. Like Jason Brownlee back shoulder touchdown against Arizona, and now Rasheed Rice catch a back shoulder touchdown against the Bears. Is Andy Reid finally going to trust Patrick Mahomes to throw the type of
the last one we threw in game was to who? Jody?
D-Hop?
Yeah, it's like
we
don't really throw
we
that
had
shoulder phase. Like, well, to a
Yeah,
receiver, D-Hop was the last year. Yeah, we don't really do that. And me and Chuck, I've been screaming for that for years. We have guys that can do it. It's just Andy's more of a beat you with speed and beat you with physicality. But like what you said, when you have guys like Rasheed or even guys like Juju, they can win on back shoulder fades. We just always done it in the middle of the field more so than the red zone, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, because I'm like, is Andy trolling, or is this really going to be a thing in the offense this year? Like, is he actually going to switch it up?
It's just a tag. That's all it is. You see somebody on the backside, hey, one-on-one, I'll give you a little, like, I'm going to rub my towel, snap my finger, do anything, like mess with my chin strap, any type of signal to let you know, hey, I'm coming to you. Like, we just don't really have those easy tag plays on the back end. And not to say, like, nobody in our receiving core could do that, but when you have so many weapons, like I just said earlier, you can do multiple plays with different guys without letting them get taxed earlier. So,
Because, like, if you remember in college, at Texas Tech, Mahomes was throwing that back shoulder fade.
it's a
quite
staple.
often.
It's a staple. For
So,
sure.
I mean, that's a I won't say a peewee football thing, but it's a staple.
Very
football
simple.
for a reason for that aspect. But I do think it's been a little bit more of the personnel. Obviously, Sammy Watkins, you throwing it to Sammy on a consistent basis, sure, maybe, but not really. That's not great about Sammy Watkins' game. You're not doing it with D-Hop, really.
Not doing it with Tyreek. Yeah.
You're not doing it with Tyreek, obviously. And then as things go along, then you get a different body type. I remember, when we first got Juju, we saw it maybe once or twice and got kind of excited about his ability to maybe do that. And the chemistry and trust between him and Mahomes, I think, is a big thing about it. And then you got D-Hop, and he showed it off because he trusted D-Hop from a veteran perspective. But I think the best chance is going to be Rashee Rice, because Rashee Rice is a guy that we obviously know he trusts. The fact that they've got that level of timing down is also a big thing. They paused it right when he ended up releasing the football, that Rashee Rice wasn't even necessarily out of his break, and Rashee was right there making the comfortable catch ultimately when he did let go of the ball. So I think that's really what it comes down to, just the personnel having the comfortability with Mahomes to be able to call it. And when you're talking about being able to convert some of these drives, like, team's going to load up as far as not allowing us to run the ball. And obviously we still were able to get the rushing touchdown with Isaiah Pacheco, do some really good blocking, but still, like, having that easy button is very useful as far as that is concerned. And Rashee Rice being able to grow with Patrick Mahomes is a big piece of that, in my opinion.
like, that's elite chemistry. Like, just to throw it up already, and he doesn't
Or you
get
should
to
look to. Facts. And Jeff Allen said it best, like, we like to make our offense look the same. So, like, try to make everything look similar. So we do so many RPOs and play action. Having a guy like him or Juju on the backside is just going to be easy money, because they rarely are. Either one of them is going to get the second corner or the first corner. So you're basically going to do it based off matchups. And even versus a lot of number one corners, I still like Rashee in that matchup, to be honest.
And that's the next evolution for Rashee, is not just necessarily in red zone, or not just necessarily the back shoulder, but just being able to be the consistent backside wide receiver to win. And obviously his slot usage is great. He's obviously improved as being an outside wide receiver, but that's the next evolution to really take over as far as the number one target in this offense, because for so long that was Travis Kelce's job, is to be the guy on the backside and be that available target for Mahomes when the front side concept is taken away. Now, if Rashee Rice can really, assert himself in that role, which we saw flashes of to start last year, that, the sky's the limit for him.
Absolutely. So, I think we covered everything on offense right now.
I would like to mention.
Matt?
I would like to mention. I just wanted to bring it up because
Okay.
I think that is going to be a little bit of an underrated aspect of this, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Joe Tooney in any way, shape, or form. But I think the fact that we are going to have the personnel sets that we have, specifically when you talk about the tight end room, again, no disrespect to guys like Blake Bell, no disrespect to Peyton Hendershot, guys like that. But the fact that we are going to be able to line up with real receiving threats at the tight end position and like 13 personnel sets and come out on early downs and just say, hey, we're going to be able to run the ball down your throat because you're going to have some lighter boxes as well. I like what you're looking at as far as that's concerned. And I think Kingsley can be a really good run blocker. We know what Creed and Trey can do on the interior, and Josh Simmons is trying it. So I thought this was a really, really nice sign, obviously, to get a little bit of a drive starter with Kareem on, especially because we were backed up against our own end zone in this case. But really good double team there for Creed and Trey. Kingsley handles his one-on-one block enough to allow Kareem to run through the arm tackle. Jawan has a really good backside cutoff block as well. And Josh Simmons is kind of just finding work as well. But I thought it was nice to see, especially throughout the entirety of the drive, that the offense was showing an ability to be physical, getting some run formations, and be able to move some guys at will.
We haven't had this much athleticism, I would say, probably since like 22, when Jody was fully healthy, because obviously we know he got hurt in 23, and last year he wasn't on the roster. So just having that legit third threat changes everything for the offense, because we know the stats that year when Pat won the MVP. like Chuck said, that was the year that we had the most snap. I think the most yardage out of 13 personnel in the league, just because having 3 legit threats like D-Mac, that changes everything for us. Because when you can use so many different personnel sets, it's hard to tell and dictate from a defensive standpoint what are you going to call, because they know they can run it out of heavy sets or we can throw it out of other sets as well. So it just gives you so many different options. When Andy's in his bag like that, it's hard for a defense to stop him. On top of the fact we have better protection so far, so good.
Yeah,
Big
Joe,
Bob. I was gonna say Big Bob has been a big, obviously, training camp storyline from that aspect. But I've been encouraged by what I've seen from Jared Wiley. We'll talk about him maybe a little bit later on. But
people forget Big Bob is a double-digit touchdown guy in Green Bay before he.
Hey, I will say this: he was on special teams, I think, yesterday at some point during the game. And he did it's not necessarily legal as far as NFL is concerned, but you know how in college you get the jersey rolled up and they'd be showing off the six. I was like, Robert Tonyan looks like he's in amazing shape for a 31-year-old tight end. I didn't expect him to look like he's moving well. I'm like, Robert Tonyan looks really good, which is nice to say. But yeah, like you said, 4 receiving threats in the tight end room makes everything so much easier for what you want to be able to present teams as far as conflict on their defensive side.
Yeah. What was you about to say, Country?
Oh, I was going to say that Mahomes looked comfortable, and you didn't see him panic. You didn't see him get the happy feet. Even that he had the time, and he stayed comfortable in that time. He stepped into his throws. Everything looked on point. It should be scary for a lot of people.
I got that 22 feeling all over again. I ain't going to lie. When we have this many weapons, like I think we led the league, and I think Pat set the record with, I think it was 9 or 10 people to catch a pass in an NFL game that year. Yeah. I think that's what it was. So I get that type of feeling like he can really it's kind of like you pick your poison at that point. I'm throwing the ball to anybody who's open for sure. Yeah.
It's bad for fantasy teams though. If you got a fantasy, just the only person you can probably pick is Mahomes.
Either Rice or Worthy. That's probably it.
Yeah, but he's not gonna.
Nobody's going to get force-fed targets, but I do think that I think Rice is going to be really good. I think
Worthy be my 2 if I had to pick.
Worthy's going to be really good. I think Kelsey is going to be.
Yeah, I think Kelsey's still on that list.
He's still a top 5 tight end. Yeah,
and I think Pacheco's going to be really good. It's just the good thing is, I think that those guys will get numbers for real. I do truly feel this way. But the thing about it is the diversity of targets is really the biggest thing to be able to put the defense in conflict. That is the massive piece of it, to be able to make sure that defensive coordinators can't key in on what you're trying to do. And because we've gone throughout this season, or I should say these last 2 years, and things have felt very siloed. It's like, hey, it's either going to Rice or it's going to Kelsey in 2023. Last year, it's either going to Worthy or it's going to Kelsey in 2024. This time around, it feels like a lot more diverse of an offense, fortunately, and we don't have to get pigeonholed into it. And that we're talking about this after this preseason game. Jalen Royals didn't play and Hollywood Brown didn't play. So it's more help on the way as well.
2 deep at every position. That's what you got. 2 Z's, you got 2 X's, it's just multiple guys.
And Juju is gonna have that one game where he get 8 targets, 8 catches for 150.
6 man of the year.
It never fails.
Get that every year.
Unk still got it, but
play for like a month too. What?
Unk still got it.
But Juju gonna have that one I'm him game
random
all
game.
year.
Yeah,
usually once or twice.
Like I'm still here. But to your point about Bob Tonyan, man, Bob Tonyan, he went through it for like the past few years with injuries and stuff, and it's a great story just to see him back healthy and get pretty much looking like he got back to where he was when he last left Green Bay.
He's healthy. He's damn good, especially in the red zone. He was such a big target for Aaron Rodgers, beating one-on-one coverage, and you're telling me you're giving your 3rd safety or your 2nd linebacker on Bob Tonyan? I like that matchup a lot of times, especially with Pat throwing it to him for sure.
All right. Absolutely. Anything else on the offense before we move on to the defense? No. All right. So let's talk about the defense, man. This guy Chris Jones out here still attracting triple teams. It's not the double teams, it's attracting triple teams.
Put the gold jacket on.
Yeah. 95, man. He's still 95, man. You saw, I think it was him and Charles Minshew. I don't know if they both got credit with a half sack or Chris got credit with a sack or whatever, but you saw Chris Jones one-on-one was just bull rushing, easy. And he was able to get to Caleb Williams eventually. Caleb tried to escape. So 95, still 95. He's still ready to go. I know one of y'all mentioned a minute who he looked his best. He had to go on Twitter to let everybody know, like, look, there's nothing wrong with everybody tomorrow. I lost
Charles never miss the opportunity.
Boy, he our resident Twitter boy. No, he got the Twitter thumb.
He said, I'm ready to go, man. He said, I'm ready to go.
Man.
So
This is the Chris Jones clip. Shout out to Brian Baldinger for the Baldy breakdown.
Baldy.
One.
Chris Jones got the right tackle
Three.
on there, right, the right guard, and the DeAndre Swift chip help there.
I would hope somebody win their one-on-one block here.
In preseason. You gotta love it. That's what Chris Jones does.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Charles Omeni, who quote tweeting PFF grades, is funny. I thought he had a solid game. I don't think it was as great as PFF maybe have said, but it is what it is.
We love Petty Charles, man.
I just want to see complimentary pass rush. And I thought it was a little bit better in this game. Charles Omeni, who again I thought showed a little bit better burst. Obviously, Ashton Gelati was working really hard. Jerry Tillery had maybe a flash or two. I'm still concerned about the complimentary pass rush outside of Chris Jones on this team. But this preseason game was better than the previous preseason games at the least.
For sure.
Was it just Chicago or did they look better?
Both.
I think they look better. I don't think Chicago's a bad team because they just went out last week and dominated the second string of the Bills. So I don't think Chicago's a bad team personally. I think that we're just a level above them.
And obviously,
maybe a level two.
Guys lock in more. They know the season's around the corner, so it's time to focus and lock in.
It was clear this was the dress rehearsal. It wasn't versus Seattle. It wasn't versus the Cardinals the first week. It was clear that there was emphasis saying, "Hey, we are 2 weeks away. We're going to treat this like a dress rehearsal. Everybody gets buttoned up, and we're going to roll out there."
Yeah, Chicago went up against a defense that's still pretty doggone good. I mean, that's just all what it was.
They had some guys out there. They had Sweat out there. I think Sermon played a little bit. They had a couple of starters. Obviously, Jalen Johnson didn't play, but a couple of their starters on the defensive front playing, which I was impressed to see more so from Jawan Taylor and Josh Simmons' standpoint, given we know that was the biggest weak point of our team being our tackle play last year. So I think guys just kind of like have a sense of urgency country. Like they know, hey, we leave for Brazil in 2 weeks or really like a week and a half because you got to get out there early. It's time to lock it down. This is our last real reps until real football, so we need to take it serious.
All right, so the elephant in the room here at defensive tackle. You know, it's been kind of a struggle to find that one guy that you can really trust to line up next to 95 because we got a bunch of specialists. You got Jerry Tillery. He's more like a pass rush specialist. Mike Pennell's a run stopping defensive tackle, but he's really the only one. Norman Lott, they was trying to convert him into more like that nose tackle type of role, but that's not working. Like, and we saw with the signing of Derek Noddy today, they brought him back. Not the signing, but the trade for him. Traded a 6 or 7 rounder for him to bring him back. So I'm pretty assuming he's going to be starting next 95. But do you guys agree this would be an opportunity for Norman Lott to get into that Tork Warden role, as DG mentioned in our chat?
God willing.
I mean, I think the biggest thing with anything with a Spags defense, it's always matchup based. I've kind of I guess agreed to this point since he's gotten here. We would love to have a guy that's like a 3-down player that does run stopping and pass rush ability. But I think at this point, Spags kind of uses guys how he sees fit. Noddy's a run stopper, like Chuck said. Mike Pennell's your run stopper. When we need more pass rush downs, you can move Charles inside, Omar, Tillery if need be. He kind of uses guys based on the situation and based off the O-line you're playing. So I don't think we really have a 3-tool guy that's going to be a 3-down D tackle next to Chris. I would hope we get one before Chris hangs it up. That would be the goal to see. I think right now it's kind of matchup based, honestly.
So does Omar really have to play at that new weight now? Can he lose some to get that explosiveness back?
I didn't want to
Please let him move the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to see him gain in the first place.
It seems like he's gonna have to play at the weight for now at least. But I didn't want him to. I like I said, when everybody was like, "Oh, he's gaining weight. Maybe he could be a 3-down player."
Be yourself,
I was like, that's not necessarily going to be for sure a good thing. And so far this preseason, it hasn't been a good thing in my personal opinion because I haven't seen the explosiveness that we saw out of him as far as what we saw out of Tennessee to get him drafted. Now, that being said, some of it might have been the injury. Obviously, he missed this game. We'll see. And obviously, we'll talk about the whole Derek Noddy aspect of it. But allowing Omar, Norman Lott, and Jerry Tillery as well from this aspect to be pass rush specialists, guys that come in later on, second and third downs, rather than the early run stuffing standpoint that you expect Mike Pennell and Derek Noddy to do next to Chris Jones is very important because, again, the complementary pass rush is the massive piece of this. We did not have the ability to get pressure with 4 on a consistent basis last year. So if you have a guy next to Chris Jones that's winning those one-on-ones, which Jerry Tillery was brought in to do, and Omar Norman Lott was drafted to do and did at Tennessee at a really high level, then you're in a good spot. But the Omar Norman Lott that we've seen so far hasn't really been able to do that. He's been more of a pocket pusher, which We don't need more pocket pushers. We got a lot of pocket pushers. We don't need more of that, in my personal opinion. So we'll see. Obviously, healthy week 1 versus Brazil, what he looks like. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that at least this preseason hasn't necessarily gone the way I would have hoped.
And I think the biggest thing is like when you play teams like the Chargers, obviously they're not an up-tempo team. They're probably not going to do too much fast-paced offense. They're going to run the ball, be physical, a Greg Roman-based offense. This is a week where I could see, obviously, Noddy having a big week, a big Mike Pennell week, because they're going to try to run the ball and be a physical football team. And then when you move on down the season, you play more up fast, more up-tempo teams like a Buffalo. Do we see any high-paced teams? Maybe if you see someone like a Baltimore in the playoffs, they maybe want to play a little faster. Then I can see Omar and Tillery getting more opportunities. But it's always going to be matchup based off who you're playing. So I think we may not see as much Omar week 1, just based off the fact that this is a big running football team. They're going to want to be physical and play action off of that. I understand why they brought back Noddy. You want to have that depth. You want to have guys next to Mike Pennell that can stop the run, and then you can let Omar and Tillery beat themselves on third down, and Charles.
Yeah, if you're questioning why we brought back Noddy, you I don't know what you've been watching the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, because I had a conversation with Daniel Harms on Twitter today, and I asked him. I said, you said you was the Chiefs would have addressed D tackle like earlier in the offseason, to where what doesn't get to this point because Spags tried to experiment with Omar Norman Lott to play a different role, and it hasn't really worked out. And I asked him like, what free agents would you like to have, seen the Chiefs go after? And he gave me a few names. I'm having a hard time pulling it up right now, but if anybody can do that, I know. What was the guy's name?
He said T.R. Tot and Chris Tonga,
Yeah,
which and Puna Ford,
Not bad
yeah,
option.
Puna Ford. Yep.
Yeah.
which is fair. The question mark is if they felt comfortable with the money wise to be able to bring some of those guys. And in my personal opinion, like, yes, you could have gotten better as far as from a run stuffing perspective than Derek Noddy. That wasn't the issue to me. You need to be able to get after the passer. Those guys aren't necessarily going to do that. So I'm not too upset by that standpoint of it. You need to have guys that are going to be able to get after the passer. That's really what it comes down to, because that was the thing we couldn't do last year. So bringing Derek Noddy back to run stuff, I really don't care about it. It's not that big of a deal to me. You brought back him and Pennell for that exact reason. So you got depth there. You're good. Congratulations. You brought in Jerry Tillery, and you drafted Omar Norman Lott to help get after the passer from the interior. And so I'm not tripped out about the Derek Noddy, trade. They traded essentially what they traded for Sky Moore in reverse. And so they moved up a little bit in the 7th round from wherever their 7th round pick would be up to the Jets' 7th round pick, which is fine with me. But I'm not concerned about it from that aspect. I'm more concerned about, hey, are they going to get the complimentary pass rush from other places?
Yeah. I'll say this about the entire front seven from what I saw from the game. They did a great job of making Chicago work for yards on the ground. I mean, we hold the entire team to 3.8 yards rushing. I will take that any day of the week. They had 30 carries for only 114 yards. I would take that any day of the week. That's one of the main things I wanted to see from the defense. Are you guys going to get off blocks, attack the gaps, make them work for their yardage? And I got exactly what I got. So.
And I think the biggest thing for us, like stopping the run, was never our issue. We've been one of the best run defenses in the league the last 2 or 3 years, really overall since Spags has been here. The biggest thing, like D-Mac said, just getting to the quarterback on third down. And that's more of an onus on me personally. I put that on George, Mike Dana, Charles. That's your job outside of Chris to put pressure in when you're one-on-ones. Because we just saw the clip in preseason, and we've seen this for the last 7-8 years of Chris Jones. He's going to get double teamed on a consistent basis. What are you going to do in your one-on-one opportunities to go win your matchups and go get pressure on the quarterback? That's the biggest thing. Obviously, I would love to see more pressure from the interior, and I think Turk provided that at times for us. And I think Omar's going to do that in the same light. It may not be early, but like Country said, you have to let time for players develop. I think he will do that by year's end. But the biggest thing for me is if Charles, George, Chris, and Mike, more so Mike Dana, you have to win. Because I just saw repeatedly up until probably after our bye week, there were so many opportunities with both of those guys not winning their one-on-ones. And obviously Charles wasn't there for the first half like the previous year before. But you're going to get your one-on-one. So what are you going to do with those opportunities? That's the biggest thing for me with the D-line group.
For sure. And what was you about to say, Country?
I was about to say, let's get into this roster.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're about to wrap up here. Just a few notes here. Cooper McDonald, I really hope he gets a shot. Like what I've seen from him, if there is a linebacker that I really like besides Bassa, that's him. He's the next one up for me. I'm just ready to move on from the law firm of Cochran and Christensen. Shout out to Chris Style, man. We're coming up with that one.
I'll let us get to the roster, but I did want to say
Yeah.
this was a pretty impressive play from Jaden Hicks there at the bottom of the screen. He's gonna be guarding Colston Loveland. And this is something that we're going to ask, especially in these three safety sets on a consistent basis. Cook and Connor are back deep on this one, and they're essentially going to rotate into a cover one robber. You got to be able to stay with tight ends, and this is somewhere that we've been victimized on a consistent basis. Obviously, the fact that they're trusting Hicks to do this against Colston Loveland is kind of impressive, and they're going to be able just to have that drag route, and Hicks is able to stay pretty much step for step with Loveland and be able to stop him short of the sticks, which is all you can ask for on a 3rd and long. So, again, improved athleticism at that safety position, especially when guarding tight ends, I think is a big thing for what we're going to be able to do as far as Spags and his 3 safety looks this upcoming season.
I love it, baby.
Hicks had a great game.
Last year, that
Hicks
would
was
have
all over the place.
been a 15, 20-yard completion. So you could just, no disrespect to Justin, but the athleticism by Jaden pops off the screen as clear as day. Needed that upgrade for sure.
Like it's not even close. I got one last subject before we get to the roster. Christian Fulton. I liked how the coaches were trying to get him up to speed. He played into the 3rd quarter. You could tell he was winded a couple times, but I saw some good things out of Christian Fulton overall for the most part. I mean, what y'all think about his performance and how he
Were
looked?
the Bears trying to work him into shape because they just kept going to him all night?
Yeah, they did keep targeting him, but
He needed.
Which is good.
What was that part of the
Right.
game
He
plan?
needs
as
the
well?
rep. He needs the reps.
He needs the reps,
did.
the snaps. He needs to get his win back, into his lungs and stuff. So I was happy that they kept him out there, kind of similar to they did to Jalen Watson last year when Watson had missed a lot of the preseason, and then they just kind of let him out there for those snaps. So a good thing. And look, Christian Fulton is one of the most important defensive players on this roster, in my opinion, because we talk about being able to secure the outside cornerback spot, because Trent McDuffie is still this team's best nickel defender, no doubt about it. And the aspect of, again, we saw this during the game too, being able to bring Fulton onto the field, or bring Watson on the field for that matter, in 3 cornerback sets, and then kick McDuffie inside, just provides so much better security from that DB position. So he's a massive piece of this, and so whipping him back into shape is a big thing to be able to do here in preseason week 3, and hopefully he's ready to go in week 1 in Brazil.
You've seen this team be at their best when we can go 3 deep at all positions, like D-Mac just said. When we had our 3 linebacker rotation, that was probably the best group we've ever had. When you had Willie, Drew, and Nick Bolton at the helm. At the safety group, when you had Shamari, B. Cook, and Justin Reed at the time, now as Jaden Hicks' position. At cornerback, when you had Snead, Trent, and obviously Jalen outside. Now you replace Snead with Christian Fulton at that point. When you can have 3 guys to use in multiple ways, it just gives Spags so many different options. And like I said earlier, it's always based off matchups. Who you're playing that week and what they like to do is going to dictate what you call an offense or defense. So when I have multiple things I can do, like we say with the receiver, tight end, running back, same thing on defense. When I have multiple guys I can use, who's better for speed, who's more for physicality, different things that we can use to our advantage is going to help us be better in situational football, which I think we dominate and we thrive in those areas.
now, was it him or Brian Cook that almost got the interception that Roman Dunze saved?
It was almost Cook, which was an impressive. I didn't realize it at the time because I was just watching it happen quickly. Roma Dute absolutely played DB on that play and prevented a Brian.
You talking about the one in the end zone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now there was a later play where actually Rome had to switch release, and it ended up confusing Cook and Fulton a little bit on the back end too. And look, those things are going to happen as far as the communication aspect. That's things when you continue to play, then ultimately you'll get better as time goes on. So you got to button those things up. But again, good thing that Fulton was out there and getting a lot of work as well.
Yeah. Just a few quick notes on the special teams. Shout out to Kevin Knowles and Jimmy Holiday. They did a good thing out there to maybe get themselves a look if the Chiefs don't bring them back in any capacity. So shout out to them.
Yep. I got both of those guys on the practice squad, Candace. So we'll see. We can get into this roster.
Just keep my guy Elijah on the practice squad. That's all I ask.
Badger.
D-Mac, you have the floor.
Oh yeah, sure.
3-man roster.
We could take a look at the 53-man roster. And so big headlines, keeping it at 26 and 24. I think it just kind of works out this way, in which, due to the Rashee Rice pending suspension, they maybe want to keep a little bit of offensive depth from that perspective. But again, I highlighted a few guys kind of in orange that could be possible bubble guys as well. And then there's a few practice squad candidates over there that could be possible IR. Jake Brennan-Still did miss the game. Jack Cochran also missed the game. Could be possible if those guys go on IR. Obviously, Felix Anduke-Uzomah is out for the season as well. BJ, as in Deion Bush during the Achilles, and then BJ Thompson's been on the non-football injury list. So we can
And
go.
Robinson, right? Did you say Robinson?
I did not mention Janoris Robinson. Good point. Janoris Robinson also on IR. Who actually showed some things as far as a defensive end spot. So we'll see if he's coming around for camp next year. Which hopefully he will, because I do think that there might be something there for Janoris Robinson. So as far as kind of the aspect for this roster, I mean, again, swing guys, Elijah Mitchell kind of came on a little bit later on into the game to show a little bit. Is he going to be able to supplant Carson Steele on the roster? Do they only take 3 running backs and try and put another defensive guy on the field? Is going to be a question mark. Cooper McDonald is a guy I highlighted orange. I think that he's been the 5th best linebacker for the Chiefs, and it's not even been close personally. Next guy would be Cam Jones. It depends on how they feel about these guys on special teams, I suppose. But I don't see why Jack Cochran or Cole Christensen need to be on this roster. And you can get them on practice squad. I don't think anybody's going to be knocking down the door for him. Mike Edwards was also in orange. I haven't seen much from him during this preseason that really suggests he should be here, but keeping him from a veteran presence, I understand. Chris Wallace also brings the kind of safety hybrid aspect to it. We've seen him play, and obviously Nasir Johnson, we know, can play safety too. But it seems like that cornerback room is fairly set outside of that. So other than that, the only other thing that I wanted to point out, Wanya Morris at the tackle position, I still feel like Esapole is better, but Wanya has the experience. I feel like they've kind of put Pole on ice a little bit here. And so Ipole is the guy out of everybody that I think could possibly get cut. He's the guy that I've most got my fingers crossed, make sure makes it to the practice squad, because I think that he does truly have real tackle upside. And he's a guy that I want to make sure stays here in Kansas City to develop, because I think that in a year's time, and again, I'm going to say this, Jalen Moore has played really well at right tackle throughout the preseason. I think that Essa can give him a run for his money, and at the very least be a very good swing tackle in a year's time as well. So definitely hope that when we get to cut down day, it doesn't seem like Pole gets on the roster. If he does, I'm not going to be upset, but hopefully we will see him in Kansas City beyond just this year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we'll say real quick, Derek Nottie is on the list as the newly acquired trade. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you good. I'm with you on Pole. I feel like he got better skills than Wanya Morris at this point. I mean, it's not against Wanya. Wanya has done some solid things here in this Chiefs uniform, but I mean, just from the eye test, man, I mean, it looked like Pole can be something. And like you mentioned, D-Mac, I think he can be a even better swing tackle. The Chiefs just give him opportunities. So we'll see what they decide on it.
You can never have enough linemen, baby.
Yeah.
You guys got any thoughts as far as the roster is concerned? CJ.
No, the biggest thing as far as like UDFAs I would like to see us keep, obviously Brenning Stool. I think he has a lot of potential in this offense, especially we know Tribe's eventually going to move on one day. So love to see him keep him in the fold. Fabian Lovett, just because height, and I think you can use his size in certain areas, and we always want to have the potential of having another pass rush specialist or having just defensive tackles next to Chris Jones that can make plays. So I still feel like he can be unlocked at times as well. Elijah Badger's my guy. I've been watching him since Florida, so I definitely want to keep him on the roster and the tuck for future purposes as well. And outside of that, those are probably really the only 3 guys I'm really like that I want to see stay. Anybody else that left, I would be fine with. I think DG would be very happy that Carson Steele is on the practice squad candidate list. So.
Okay, so this one I want to ask y'all. I mean, looking at this chart under possible IR, I mean, you got Brendan Stool and Cochran highlighted. Brendan Stool, I think he's a definite IR candidate. Can you see somebody else besides Cochran being an IR candidate that they possibly want to try to keep?
I mean, nobody else really got hurt unless I'm missing somebody. So I think that Brenning Stool really fits the bill as far as the ghost IR placeholder as far as that's concerned for this upcoming season at least. CJ, you see anybody?
Yeah, you're right. I don't see why else he got that's hurt for real.
Now, yeah, I mean, Wiley's look healthy, so he's
Yeah,
good to go so far. No injuries were reported off the game this weekend. So, yeah, it's pretty much, JB was the last one with the hammy injury.
yeah, that's probably the two for sure. Since Andy reported that there was no injury, so yeah, it's probably right. But yeah, they definitely keeping 6 wide receivers and 4 tight ends for sure. That I mean, that's a given right there. So
We got 7 on this one.
like, who do you
Yeah,
think
you
that?
got to keep the 7.
So like, if they do like keep 6 wide receivers, like, who's the odd man out? Like, is it Nico?
Chuck, they're keeping 7. I don't see how you can't keep 7, given the fact that they don't know.
Rookie suspension, you have to.
Given the fact that you don't know what's going to happen with Rashee Rice, I can't imagine that you can go into this with just 6, which it feels crazy to say that you need 7 wide receivers. But I understand it why, because we know Wills is obviously going to be on the roster. He missed this game, but there wasn't really any concern about him coming back. But that top 5 is secure. Tyquan Thornton it's clearly proven that he can give you the sacrificial deep routes that you need, and maybe even a little bit more than that too. And then Nico Remigio is the primary returner, according to Dave Tobe. So I think they're going to keep 7. If there's going to be a sacrifice, I think it's going to be at the running back position to go from 4 to 3, rather than necessarily keeping 6 wide receivers.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I mean, I did say Tobe would fight for Nico. If it came down to it. But we did just say how the Chiefs could experiment with like heavier personnel. They keep it 4 tight ends. We mentioned 13 personnel. I mean, you're gonna possibly see 14 personnel here and there. So I mean, that's some of my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they actually gonna keep 7?
Yeah, I mean, I think position of value for this offense, I think I'd rather have the 7th receiver than the 4th running back. No disrespect to Elijah Mitchell. I just don't think he really brings too much value to this team at this point in time right now. I think having Kareem Hunt here, Pacheco fully healthy, and Rashard Smith being available at times you need be. And if you want to bring in Carson Steele for an activation for a fullback week, which we haven't used a fullback in this offense in years, I think right now the receiver holds more value. And obviously we just said the tight end room is going to be a big, I would say, like, even more weapon for us this year than years past. So I think 7 receivers is kind of like you have to, on top of the fact Rashee suspension. So, and Nico returns kicks, so he immediately brings the special teams value that none of the other running backs do besides Brashard. So,
What do you do when Rashee Rice returns after suspension?
he gets back into the fold like he normally does.
I say you incorporate him back in the
I'm
offense.
saying roster-wise, are you still keeping the 7 wide receivers, or?
I mean, everybody can be active on game days, but
it depends based on obviously injury at that point. Fingers crossed. Hopefully, there's nothing devastating from that aspect. But I mean, if you wanted to go back to 7 wide receivers, I wouldn't be upset by that, because all these guys have a specific role in which they were able to affect the game. So if they want to go back to the 7 wide receivers at that point and the injuries aren't dictating otherwise, then yeah, I'd be cool with it. I don't have any issues with them keeping 7 all the way through the season.
I'm looking at this team, look at this roster. I hope Mike Caliendo does not see the field again. I hope we don't have to go here.
You and me both.
Yeah, that's an interesting discussion. I want to mention real quick as far as the Carson Steele aspect of it. I understand the fullback and Andy Reid. You have 4 tight ends. You can use Noah Gray. You can use Robert Tonyan as H-back. You don't necessarily need a designated fullback, in my personal opinion, from that aspect. So I think that them feeling good about this tight end room hopefully will mean that they don't necessarily need to keep Carson Steele. Now, of course, as far as on the active roster, now, of course, there's still a question mark as far as running back depth is concerned, and we'll see what happens on cutdown day. I still think that Brett Veach is going to be sniffing around that running back to see if something does come to fruition from that standpoint. But as far as the backup guard situation, I think is interesting because, in my opinion, the Chiefs' 2 best guard backup options have not actually, played guard in this preseason so far, as far as Jalen Moore and Hunter Norzat. They've had Norzat as a primary backup center. Obviously, they've had Jalen Moore play consistently at the right tackle position. So still seems like Mike Caliendo is going to be the first guard up, which I personally don't want to see. I agree with you on that standpoint, but we'll see. Well, actually, I hope we don't end up having to see what will be the next guard up as far as the game situation is concerned. But yeah, if it was up to me, I'd move on from Mike Caliendo and I'd keep Esapole, but I know that's not going to end up happening.
Yeah, that Monty Green Beans want to trade Mike right now.
Did
So
they say Allegretti was getting cut? Was that like a tease or something like that?
you said
They
who?
said they
Nick
said it was
Allegretti.
yeah, they said it was possible. It's not guaranteed, but it was possible.
If he was getting cut, I'm cutting. I'm bringing him back.
I don't think nobody would blink an eye at that
You're right. I wouldn't mind it.
one.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would.
But to your point about Carson Steele, him not playing till the fourth quarter kind of
I
gives
ain't gonna
me.
make the
Kind of
roster.
told you what it was, bro.
Yep.
Yeah,
I ain't
yeah.
gonna make the roster.
It kind of tells the picture right there. Like I don't think he makes the roster.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And it's definitely indicative. Again, last night, or it wasn't last night, Friday night, was the dress rehearsal, and you saw, as far as the snap counts were concerned, there were clear hierarchies at running back, at wide receiver, at tight end, offensive line really looked that way. A linebacker, cornerback kind of looked the same, but it was a little bit wonky. There was clear as far as, hey, we know who's going to be able to be on this team, and we know who's second string. And then after that, you are probably on the chopping block. And like you said, Carson Steele was obviously coming in later on. So there's a good chance that he does not find his way onto this 53-man roster to DG's delight.
Have you seen anybody that's been cut today that you would love, that you would add to this roster?
Not that I know of so far.
Jamin Davis is the one name. He's athletic linebacker. Again, and again, Cooper McDonald being on the team would be perfectly fine with me. But Jamin Davis, it's not like he's great or anything special, but I think that he would be a very good special teams asset, and probably better depth piece than anything else. And they have. I have to be careful when I say this. They have tried to make him a little bit more into an edge pass rusher, which isn't to say necessarily that he can do it, but it is to say that he has a little bit more Sam versatility, which I think is important because Cooper McDonald has a little bit of Sam versatility, but we don't really have a true backup for what Leo Chanel can do. And I think Jamin Davis would be a better shot at being able to bring that to the table.
Yeah, that's the boy from Kentucky, right?
Yes, he went to Kentucky. I think he went to Kentucky. Yep, he did.
Yeah, that's definitely a name I would look at. I mean, that's really the only name so far of everybody that's been
You might
cut.
mention Zy Alexander. I think he's a corner.
Cornerback. He's athletic, certainly athletic, and
I
trying
think
to
Matt
develop him.
Derrick mentioned him.
Yeah, I mean he's a Spags guy. If you want to be able to develop him as an outside corner, I wouldn't hate it. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But talking about probably sacrificing Najee Johnson on this current roster if you were to claim him. So we'll see.
Yeah, if the Chiefs don't decide to kick the tires on Jamin Davis, Cooper McDonald, he definitely has to make this team. Like, I'm just sorry. Like I said it earlier in the show. I mean, he's just better than Jack Cochran and Cole Christensen. Whether he has to play on special teams or whether he has to come in and play a snap or two at linebacker, you got to find a way to keep Cooper McDonald on this roster.
What about any former players that used to be Chiefs that maybe cut or release? Or
I think we
no,
get
McCall Hardman. No,
I'm not. I wasn't gonna even say McCall Hardman.
So why you even bring
know.
that up?
I think we hit a quota with Derek Nottie as far as the former Chiefs.
I wouldn't be opposed to Allegretti though. If Allegretti really is available, yes, please.
Well, I did want to check. So Commanders team site or fan site actually didn't necessarily have him being cut, and the ESPN roster projection didn't have him cut. So I guess it may be a little bit surprised if he ends up getting cut. If he obviously is cut, then yeah, bring him back. But it doesn't seem like that's something that's all too likely. He's a vested vet, so you wouldn't have to worry about the waivers. But yeah, no, former Chiefs, I think we're good. I think we got everybody nice and buttoned up with the Derek Nottie trade back. Yeah, I think that's it. We don't need Miko Hardman in this wide receiver room. We've honestly probably got too many wide receivers at this.
Got too many right now. That's what I'm saying. We don't.
Yeah, just to keep at that aspect. Carson Steele has been rightfully replaced by Gardner Minshew. He's now in Minnesota, so yeah, we're good on the former Chiefs aspect of it. Unless they want to cut L'Jarius Sneed, then bring L'Jarius Sneed back. But I don't think that's going to happen.
No, let me ask y'all.
Don't do that.
Crazy.
Let me ask y'all about Mike Edwards, because it looked like it's taking him a minute to get back up to speed. Like, we know that he probably not really going to play that much. You know what I'm saying? He's the veteran, and their safety's just going to be ahead of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, how long do you think it will take him to get caught back up to speed?
I think I
He
think
had a hamstring too, right?
he in the Deion Bush role for me right now. The emergency veteran, if you need be, if anybody
Right.
has like a concussion, helmet flies off, needs somebody to go in the game and play really fast. He's played big moments for us, obviously. I think he can come in and play at any snap, honestly. He's getting a little older. I think he's 29 now or 30. We're getting close to it.
Yeah.
So obviously age is catching up with him. You kind of saw that last year with Buffalo as well. So I think we brought him in here more so of a depth piece. We don't need him to start, which I think is good for us. But I think he's just here just for like emergency depth purposes. I don't need him to see him play significant snaps on a weekly basis, honestly. Like we did when we needed him a couple years ago. So
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm dead.
that
I'm
was
dead.
That's funny. How was it?
Yeah.
that was mean.
But no, yeah, Mike was, like you said, Deion Bush role. You know, more of a special teams veteran presence in the room. I think makes a lot of sense. So, I hopefully will not have to see him play real snaps because I believe in the three safeties ahead of him as well. From that aspect, honestly, Chris Roland Wallace was showing a little bit of versatility from that standpoint.
And I think the depth we have is going to make sure we don't have to see Mike early on in the season, just because you can go so many different ways with Jalen and Christian. Obviously, we all don't want to see Chamari in the slot. But I think based on certain tight end matchups, Spags love the matchup for whatever reason. But I would much rather see Trent be in those positions, obviously, because I think he can cover anyone out there. But I think just having those guys, and Christian Wallace is probably one of the biggest improvements I've seen from last year to this year. I think he's probably one that made the biggest jumps for me. Just having the versatility, which we know we preach in the Spags defense, or really on the Andy Reid roster. I think he's going to show big value for this team for sure sometime this year.
Hey, speaking of former Chiefs, the three-time defending Super Bowl champion Darian Kennard got traded today to the Packers.
Oh boy,
that's either.
Wow.
They got him and Miko.
Dang, it's third team already.
Yeah, Kennard just never panned out, and he just
Never did.
Yeah, I think he was never a tackler. They should have kicked him inside.
That's when he said to play
I
guard.
thought he was a guard. He wasn't he supposed to be a guard?
Wait, yeah, but it just never
Out of Kentucky,
it didn't work out. But you know, and again, this is shout out to Darian Kennard, but you know it's bad if you can't make it in the Jeff Stoutland School of Offensive Linemen, then it's getting late early for you.
Yeah, clock might be ticking.
Shout out to Darian Kennard.
Shout out Kennard.
Wish him the best of luck, though, man. Hopefully,
Good luck, my boy.
McVay actually works out for him. But I got a question. I got a question to y'all about the DNs, like the edges, because I'm looking right here and we don't have Malik Herring on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there a possibility that he somehow makes the roster on when cut day comes, or do you think we're gonna be right on this chart?
It's possible if they want a little bit of
we want to maneuver around.
Yeah, I could see it as a possibility of them keeping either 10 defensive linemen or maybe sacrifice. No, they're not sacrificing any of these other guys. So, yeah, I think that they can keep 10 defensive linemen. Maybe if they don't lose Elijah Mitchell, that would probably be the guy. If you lose a running back, then probably you would add another defensive lineman or another offensive lineman. So, yeah, I mean, that would be the pathway to do it. I'm an advocate for bringing in Zadarius Smith. That's just me. Obviously,
I mean, I'm with it too, actually.
Yeah, I don't think the Chiefs probably are going to end up kicking the tires on that sort of thing, but that would be my preference personally.
Who's going to be the shocker, man? Because you know they're going to go. They might cut it to like 51, and then sign some other guy. But who's going to be the one guy that shocks you?
I think
that we cut.
Yeah.
Shocker.
I don't know if there's a guy necessarily, but I think that a chopping block, like maybe Edwards is on the chopping block and they feel like they could just stash him as a vet on the practice squad like they did to Deion Bush a few years ago, and say, hey, we feel good about the versatility of Christian Roland Wallace and obviously Najee Johnson as well. It's a possibility, I suppose, Najee Johnson could also be on the chopping block, but I think that'd be more of an outside thing because of how much Spags loves him. Again, 3 running backs is something that I think certainly could happen to make room elsewhere. But there's always going to – I do expect that Brett Veach is going to be active here on waiver wire day and just see, hey, there's somebody out there and we got to make room for him. We're going to go and do that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think none of these guys really be shockers, honestly. I think all the guys we expect to make the roster should make the roster. So I don't think we'll see too many surprise cuts. Elijah Mitchell's not a guaranteed lock on this roster. I think you need Mike Everett to have 4 safeties just because you only have 4 right now. So I don't really see any like really. Who do you think countries like that would be a shocker to you? That's like a legit
I'm
possibility.
trying to think. Like, man,
It's
I don't
tough
know.
for anybody.
I mean, honestly, how long have you had your 53 locked in? Mine's been locked in for like 2 weeks.
Once I saw Tunyon win tight end 3, that was pretty much the last one for me.
Well, technically, because Derek Nottie got added today, I guess today.
Yeah, Nadi kind of cleared that up too. So
Oh yeah, well, yeah, not kind.
But no, I mean it's always going to be fluid as far as 53 man is concerned, and but yeah, I still think that there are opportunities to move some guys off of here. I don't think that the entire 53 is locked in for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick a surprise, but like this was just
the base of the roster.
I'm like 50 locked in though.
Yeah.
It's like
a few guys here and there.
For
sure.
And that's why that legitimately what you see here. I highlight the bubble guys. Like I think 50 of these guys are pretty well roster locks. I don't expect any surprises with. I think those are the pivot points.
But like D-Man mentioned earlier, I mean, I think if there's one guy who's bubble that's going to get burst, I think it's Elijah Mitchell. Then that opens the door for Malik Herring to be that fifth defense end to make the squad. So, I mean, that's how I look at it.
I ain't seen Elijah Mitchell really play that many snaps in the game, so I think they're kind of telling us how they felt about him. So I kind of expect that one, honestly. I think he was more like an emergency game. So, no, Elijah, good dude. Good dude. I wish he would have been in a different situation, but he's just injuries the way he's dealt. And when you drafted Brashard Smith in the draft, I think that kind of tells you how they feel about this running back room. So,
and I said it right in there. Like after they were drafted Brashard, I said Elijah Mitchell really got the ball out in the preseason, and show teams that he's actually 100% healthy again. That he had the burst that he once had before the injuries.
Exactly. So. And there's plenty of teams that need a running back. He could probably go to San Fran. They need all the help they can get right now. So
right, they dropping like flies, man.
He'll have plenty of opportunities for sure if it's not Kansas City.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I
got.
I'm
ready for Brazil, man.
Let's get ready, man. Week and a half away. Let's go.
We got a week and a half until we get started to kick the season off, man. We are, 12 days away as far as our Kingdom Cast countdown, going through my favorite 7 plays, and then we're gonna get Chuck's favorite 7 plays, and then we're gonna be right there.
I'm gonna tell you this about.
I think you stole that McCall Hardman touchdown from me, though, bro.
You stole it from him.
What you mean?
Yo, that hey man, that
DG stole my play
too,
so don't worry about it. We always.
That ball was so filthy.
I'm joking.
He stole my meat coat touchdown too, the one versus Tennessee. I was like, I was gonna use that play.
The jump pass?
Yeah, off the leg. That was tough.
Yeah, I was there.
I'll tell you this though, man. Picking from the 2020s was tough, bro. Like 2020, that was a tough year to pick. There was so many options I could have took, man. Like offense and defense. I'm like, dang, this is hard.
We had some good highlights over the years. It was
a lot of fun. Man.
Like D-Mac, like my list was like 3 deep, like for every year. Like it's like, hey, bro, if somebody pick this one, pick this one. Like my list was hella detailed.
I didn't even get to use the Willie Gay sack, and I wanted to use that one from 23, I believe. So
man, the Willie Gay Russell Wilson interception should have been there.
So
what year was that?
That was a great interception too.
What year was that?
That was 22, I believe.
22, I think.
I think 22.
Yeah, I think
22.
Yeah.
One-handed interception.
I'm mad I didn't get Willie.
Was that a pick six?
I don't think he cribbed it. He picked it. I don't think he cribbed it though.
Yeah, I don't think he cribbed it. But I'll tell you this though. Speaking of interceptions, like looking back on these highlights, Daniel Sorensen had a lot of big time moments.
He did, man.
Because I saw him make the one-handed interception against Buffalo. I said, I do not remember this, and he got up for that.
Did he ice the game that time?
Nah, it wasn't a game icer. It was still like in the middle of the game. Like I think early fourth quarter or late third when he made the
he iced the game with a one-handed interception against somebody though.
It was against the Chargers.
The Chargers, yeah.
Okay.
In Mexico.
He had yeah. That was like Phillip Rivers' last game, right?
Yeah, I think it was his final season with the Chargers.
He had so many just annoying plays and then so many game clinching. Oh my God, Dan Sorensen something else, man.
You love him, you hate him. Just like remember the play in Cleveland? He forced a fumble on the what was it, like the 1 yard line or something like that.
He punched the ball out. That was very big.
Ball out.
Yeah, they was mad about that play.
That was season opener. That game was hot as hell too.
But hold on. But hold on, man. What about that pick six against Denver, dog? When he did a little celebration with the boss.
What was the one?
Oh man.
What was the one where dude threw it right to him and he just walked? He literally like walked into the end zone. So the Raiders game. Am I tripping? That might have been too early, but my bad.
I know one. I know Tyrann Mathieu had one like that. It was against the Patriots.
Baltimore, yeah, or that one too, yeah.
Yeah,
That one in the Baltimore, like
yeah.
walking to me, they just gave it to
Tyrann had just came off of COVID and
Facts.
picked two of them, and he had two pick sixes that day.
Yeah, he had two picks against Baltimore.
Straight to him.
Night.
And we still lost that game. Because Clyde
Clyde did
fumbled
something
for
we
the
know
first time in his
do.
career. It was like, what?
Man.
And that was the last year he was really productive for us too.
We do have a defensive play coming up tomorrow that's from 2021, which was a part of I won't say maybe, but it was a part of one of my most favorite regular season games in Chiefs history, which was, oh my goodness, it was so fun. I'm not going to spoil it, but it was an enjoyable experience from 2021. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun, obviously, going through these countdown plays. You reminded of how many of these things kind of stick out to your mind, and some of them get lost to the sands of time too, as well.
Yeah, I was just like being put in that moment again. Like, man, I remember that. Like that McCall Hartman touchdown that the announcer didn't even think it was a touchdown. It was like, he caught. Wait a minute, he caught that?
Jim Nance said out of bounds.
Yeah,
he couldn't believe himself.
I still think.
You remember Tyreek Hill against Denver falls and the ball falls and they thought
I caught it.
Hit the ground. He was like, wait a minute, that was a touchdown.
Nobody knew it was a touchdown until after they had punted the ball, of course, because they didn't.
Right.
Hold on.
I said, challenging, bro. What are you doing?
They didn't even challenge it.
It's tough to talk to Andy Reid and be like, you need to challenge this play. The wide receiver didn't even know he caught it.
He was like, I know I caught it either, coach. I don't know. My favorite one was definitely that
the players telling you to challenge it. Go ahead.
That Tampa Bay game, just in general, based off coming off the way we played the year before. Prime time. Obviously, we know we were coming off the Super Bowl, the way we played down there. The way that we just blitzed like the entire Bucs team, that's like easily probably one of my favorite games from the whole Mahomes era so far, because the defense was getting turnovers. Obviously, Kelsey was making plays to flip to Clyde. Everybody thought Pat hurt his ankle, but he said, I'm like that. Like, that was like one of the biggest quotable and like probably like bookmark games of his whole era for sure.
And then
Patrick Mahomes' most iconic plays.
COVID year was fun because you could hear everything. You literally could hear everything on the field. Like that was fun too.
Yeah.
And you can hear Travis
Everybody
talking.
mic'd up.
Yeah.
That was a fun year, boy. And we smacked him, and I made some money off that game too, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I went crazy in that game too.
Boy.
I just remember I went crazy that season.
And I bet on that was the Jody ATD game. I was saying that all year. He gonna score eventually. Plus 1,500. Boy, I remember that.
That was one of my best nights.
Facts. That was a good game for us.
Yeah.
So like, you know, as a channel, like recently, Tell the Truth had Jeff Allen on recently. That was a great interview. Had a great interview with Jason Dunn. Like, we covered this offseason pretty well, man. I appreciate everybody that's been tuning in to us these last few weeks. Like, been kicking ass. We had Rob Collins on. Chris Onacero was on a couple of days ago. The Red Shirt podcast is really growing with they had Jesse Newell. They had the guy from K-State. We got to get that K-State guy back on because they lost again.
Emaw, baby. Emaw.
Got to talk about that game, man. And, hey, yo, if your dad and your brother are out fighting after the game,
Hey, yo.
like, can we not publicize that, bro? That was so bad. I felt it was like I thought they were fighting fans at first, but they were fighting each other. I
thought it was fans too. I'm like, they're fighting each other. That's even worse. Like, come on, bro.
It's like, and we just lost. We just lost a major.
They was in Ireland. They was drinking, and things went bad.
They took 2 L's that day. That's tough.
That green beer was flowing here.
I mean, technically 3, I suppose. If you both the brother and the dad took the L.
That's so bad, bro. That's so bad.
It's bad.
That's so bad, bro. And I know that my team is probably going to get their ass kicked pretty soon, and I'm prepared for it. But shout out to Kansas. Kansas had a good game this weekend. Mizzou play when? Thursday? Who y'all play?
Yeah, this
Open up
Thursday.
Thursday against who are we playing again?
Central Arkansas.
Central Arkansas. For the tune-up for the border war that is going to divide the Chiefs fan base when that happens.
Y'all, wait a minute. We going immediately into the border war?
Yeah. Early.
I thought it was later down the line.
That's early.
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly, bro. You know, Chuck, if y'all lose, you already know.
Gonna be hilarious that
day.
If y'all lose to Kansas.
So guys,
whoever loses, the chat gonna be funny.
Whoever
loses, it's gonna be funny. I'm sitting back popcorn that day, boy.
All I know is Jalen Daniels gonna throw 2 picks in that game. That's all I know.
Okay. All right, claim it, bro. It's all good.
He probably will.
You know if y'all lose. You know if y'all lose.
But I will say this about Florida State. Lee Corso will make his final appearance on ESPN College Game Day next weekend when they play Alabama. You know, say goodbye to a legend. Game, whether he was coaching or whether he was on game day, you know, putting on the mascot head or, you know, just giving his analysis in general.
Iconic person for sure.
Yeah.
Little overdue because I thought they would have pulled him a while ago. You could tell he just looked a little off up there, but definitely a legend in college football for sure.
Speaking of college border wars, Carrington got the documentary dropping about
the KU Mizzou game.
KU Arrowhead Mizzou game.
Arrowhead and Armageddon and Arrowhead.
Great. So that should be fun. He should be around one of our shows promoting that week or whatever. But I'm looking forward to it. I did. He asked me to help get a certain Mizzou player involved, but it didn't work. But I tried. But I'm still looking forward to the documentary. It should be fun, and especially from Mizzou, and then we're gonna break it down because it's Carrington and tell him how bad it is. So
sure. I mean, and y'all might see a familiar face on that documentary.
Oh,
hey, shout out.
Yeah, D-Mac.
No, I can't watch. I can't wait to watch it. That is one of the most iconic games from my childhood. Obviously, as a Mizzou fan, the hype surrounding that game was like none other, man. So can't wait to watch that doc.
That was a great game.
Absolutely.
Did y'all watch The Kingdom?
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't got around to it.
All 6 episodes.
Did you watch? I still haven't watched all 6. Yeah, I haven't watched all 6.
It's amazing, bro. It was
really good.
Top notch job, man.
Great job, Pat. That was good.
It's a couple moments in there. It's like, you know, to watch Andy Reid get emotional, to go in depth with Chris Jones, the caves, to go look at the history and all that. They pulled out Pat's first cleats and Travis Kelce's suit from Saturday Night Live. Like, man, it's been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a ride. You really don't realize how long Andy Reid's been here. He's been here longer than he was in Philly, which is crazy.
Flies by.
Man, that's crazy. But
12
it's
years.
been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a ride, for real. And to see it documented like that, I know a lot of other fan bases are kind of pissed they lost, but it's even more historical that we lost. You know what I'm saying? Like that we were able to make the Super Bowl. I wish we would have won it. But I told DG this when I was watching. God knew that we didn't need to win the Super Bowl because if we would have won,
we would have tore up the whole internet.
Y'all think y'all don't like us now?
It would have been unbearable.
If we would have three-peated,
all my friends would have blocked me, bro. Nobody that's friends of other teams would have talked to me. They all would have deleted my number, bro.
It's no way, bro. It's no way. It would have been too much arrogance because every time you say something, I would just do this. 3. When you get 3, shut up. Until you get 3 in a row, shut up.
We just shut down.
It's nothing to talk about.
Oh my god.
So the football guys said, "Yeah, we can't let y'all win."
y'all would have killed the whole football community. Nobody would.
We'll even let y'all get there, but y'all can't win because y'all would be too much. Your fan base is too much. So.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not gonna believe this, man. Before you get into that picture, D-Mac, you're not gonna believe this because I ran to Aaron Ladd like months ago, and we was talking about the Super Bowl, friend of the show, and he told me personally, he was like, "Man, y'all need to get humbled in that Super Bowl." I said, "Dang, bro, like that."
Because the fans, they've been unbearable. He ain't lying.
Hey man, you know hindsight is 20/20. In that moment, I didn't care. I wanted to win, bro. I wanted to win that game.
So bad, bro.
I had two cigars ready for that game.
Oh God.
It was tough, but I will say the documentary was good. I thought they did a really good job of capturing the history of the caves. Was an awesome piece of it too. I think Andy Reid's episode was my personal favorite. Just to see him and kind of go through his journey and everything that he's represented within the football community. A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of care for his players, and on and off the field as far as that aspect of it. And that's a big thing for me, is that Andy Reid deserves the moment that he's been in and being a part of this dynasty, being at the head of this dynasty, to show that a guy that leads with his heart the way that he does can also win at the highest level. And so I love that his legacy has been secured here in Kansas City because of the winning that he's been able to do. And you want to promote more of those guys that really do care about the people that they employ. And Andy Reid is one of those guys. So that was my favorite part of the doc, and his episode was awesome. All the episodes were good to watch and compelling, documentary television. So obviously the ending kind of sucked, but Chris Jones' speech in the locker room, and maybe believe that this team certainly isn't done putting rings on their finger.
If you don't want to run through a wall after hearing Chris Jones' speech, then you probably shouldn't be in this game.
No doubt about it.
Great.
And also, they kept saying, "Hey, he wasn't that successful in Philly." Like, what? Like, did I remember that wrong? Like, he only had like 3 bad seasons in Philly, right?
I think it was just 2.
Just the first couple of years.
Yeah, it was.
They went 9-7 that one year when they got the dream team that they went and bought everybody. That was the bad season.
But that was the Chip Kelly year. Yeah. Or was it the Chip Kelly year?
He's talking about the 2011 year.
Oh, the 20. Yeah. So I mean,
they got Amasawa and whatever.
Asamuga. They went 5-11. Asamuga.
They're trying to make it to a man corner, and he was on his own corner.
That was funny.
But yeah, he went 5-11 his first season as Philly coach. But after that, he was pretty consistently good, and obviously had the Super Bowl appearance. So it is what it is. It never was a breakthrough as far as Philly was concerned, and he came here and was able to turn this franchise completely around, and obviously got his. Like I continue to say, his spirit animal at quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, and they've proven to be one of the best head coach and quarterback duos in National Football League history.
My favorite episode was probably either 3 or 4, a little combination of the two, just to show, because obviously, like Country said, our fans have been obnoxious, rightfully so, because we've been doing a lot of winning. It shows what life was like as a Chiefs fan before Andy Reid. We all remember the 2012 season and how that went down. To life how it is now, 12 years later. We've been through the mud to get it how we are now. So just to show the appreciation, the perspective of what this organization and this fan base in this city has been through, it's night and day for what we are. So, and the real Chiefs fans know, not the newer ones who came when Pat and Andy came along, the ones that have been through the obviously through the Dick Vermeil days, obviously Marty, Romeo Cornell, Herm Edwards, Todd Haley. I can go on and on for days. We all know what life was like before 2012. So to where we are now, hindsight being 12 years later, Andy's done more than I even said. I remember the day Pat Mahomes signed his contract extension after he won the first Super Bowl. I said if he wins just one Super Bowl, he's done more than enough for this city than anyone could ever even think of. The fact that we're sitting here with 3 and we had a chance to win 4, if not 5, for the 5 Super Bowls we've been to, Pat's done everything for the city. As a kid, grew up being raised here. That documentary was everything for me. I just wish some of my family members who passed away were here to see it, because they're probably bigger Chiefs fans than all of us. And the fact that we're here now 12 years later, it's just crazy to see and think where we are now.
Yeah, especially with that.
Yeah, because my son is 7, bro. My son is 7 years old. All he knows is Super Bowls. He don't know nothing about 2 and 14. He don't know about losing Eric Berry on the first Sunday of the year to Buffalo because Stevie Johnson is an asshole.
Yeah.
He don't know about losing Jamal Charles to Detroit the next week for 8 man. Like 7 years old, all he knows is championship.
All he knows is winning, baby.
All he knows is winning, bro.
But I do want to say this. I wonder how crazy he's going to get when Patrick Mahomes gets his statue unveiling. Because you saw Tom Brady got his statue unveiled outside of Gillette.
For sure. It's gonna be a fun time. Whatever day he does happen, and he gets like his number. Obviously, I believe his number's gonna get retired. He's obviously going to the Ring of Honor. All of those things, all of the celebratory things when he's done playing ball. Those will be like legendary days in KC. Because like growing up, who was like the big athlete in Kansas City that we really had that was like to that level of like, hey, he's gonna get his number retired, Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, statue in the front. We haven't really had that. So the fact that we have that guy now,
probably the only
George,
one.
that's probably the only guy you could even have in that conversation. So
Frank
Pat
White?
has exceeded that. So
Frank White.
he ain't really left too much right now. He do
I was
got
gonna
a
say
statue though. He do got a statue.
Frank was there, and then he just
He
oh
just said,
god.
y'all got it.
I'm not rushing to see a Patrick Mahomes statue. I need to see him still on the field.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I
for
want
sure. I'm
to
just
get
saying.
5
I'm just
Super Bowls.
saying.
The fact
I'm
we
just
can even
saying when
say
the
that is
day.
crazy for sure.
I'm just saying when the day happens after he retires, like whenever that day comes,
Yeah.
whenever the Chiefs decide to do it, you know.
I might need a moment. I might need a moment by myself.
I'm definitely gonna get emotional.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it might be,
Like
Yeah,
when we
crocodile tears.
won that first Super Bowl, I low key. And really, like the first Super Bowl, I was the most emotional because obviously 50 years, all the losing, everything we've been through to get to that moment, and we finally get over the hump after the terrible losses that Lee never got to see. The Super Bowl that probably hit me the most, the one I was like the most proud of, was the one in 2022 when we beat the Eagles, because nobody in the world thought we would ever get back. Everybody thought it was a one-off. They thought we were done. We traded Tyreek Hill. The entire world was betting against us. And not only did we go out there and win, Pat Mahomes got MVP and had another 5,000-yard season, with probably losing arguably one of the best weapons in NFL history. So that one probably meant the most to me out of all the
It
Super
was a
Bowls, for sure.
statement win.
Yeah,
That's
that one meant the
that's
most.
why this year, if they win, it's a statement win too.
Absolutely.
Boy, ain't we getting wrote off to say the least. But yeah, it's time now. We've gone through the preseason, gotten through training camp. 53-man coming up on Tuesday. Now it's just about the games that end up counting.
Exactly. So now it's time to pay some bills and get up out of here, man. Shout out to good people Underdog Fantasy. For new users, go and use that promo code KingdomCast. All in one word.
New users.
New users. So they got a different special going on right now. You bet $5, they can get up to $50 in credits. So with that being said, if you don't know about this app, you download it on Apple Store, Google Play. You want to get involved right before week 1 begins. Use that promo code KingdomCast, all in one word. Sign up.
Gonna be having some NFL season long specials. Obviously, week 1 things we'll be putting out. Bet the House Sportsbook Discord gonna have that getting going and have the plays in there too. And obviously, still baseball and then WNBA going on too. So make sure you guys go check it out.
Shout out to Asia Wilson, man. She about to win her 4th MVP. It seems like
Best in the world.
Yep,
The best in the world.
well deserved.
all right. And again, rest in peace to the Black Mama.
Bean
824
day.
day.
Bean
Happy
day.
Kobe Day.
Bean day. Stop playing.
That's
All
right.
right.
Pretty cool.
That
We'll
being
see y'all
said,
next week, man. Week 1. We
Yes,
want
sir.
prepared, man.
Can't wait, boy.
Well,
Tell the truth, Kingdom Cash, Red Shirt Podcast. 2 words for you. Hey, man, let's do it. It's time to gear up
break a
again.
charger.
Pause.
Hey, yo.
I can't. Let's go. Let's go.
all right.
Let's get out of here.
All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on social media platforms. Till the next episode, we out. Look up to the 11. I'm saying, I'm leaving. I'm to the Kevin. I'll see you later.